Polkadot is one of the most hyped blockchains to have come out in recent times for the cryptocurrency markets. But just what the heck is Polkadot, and how does it actually compare to Ethereum, particularly to Ethereum 2.0? I'm really curious how Polkadot is going to stack up against a future Ethereum behemoth. In this video, I'll break down the key differences that you need to know between these networks. My name is Lark, and every day I make videos to help you make money investing. So if that is what you would like to do, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, and of course click on the notification bell to know when I put out a new video. By the way, if you want to buy yourself some Ethereum, some Polkadot, maybe some of their top cryptocurrencies like Chainlink or Cardano, then you need to get yourself an account over on Binance. Use the link down below in the description to sign up for your Binance account, and you'll get 10% off of your fees and up to $700 in trading bonuses. Okay, so let's start off here with what is Polkadot? Well, Polkadot is a third generation blockchain that uses a hybrid proof of stake consensus. Polkadot was built using Substrate, which is a framework for creating cryptocurrencies and other decentralized systems, using basically the latest, most cutting edge research in the blockchain technology sector. Basically, Polkadot reduces the time, the energy, and the money needed to create a new blockchain system. Polkadot, like all the best blockchains, of course, is an open source project that was actually created by Ethereum co-founder and Ethereum chief technical officer, Dr. Gavin Wood, who actually ended up writing the Solidity language, which Ethereum uses to this day. We also have the Rust community leader, Robert Habermeister. Rust, if you don't know, is a top programming language. We also have the tech director of the Web3 Foundation, Peter Szabin. And also the Web3 Foundation has commissioned 5 teams and over 100 developers to build Polkadot. So that's a lot of brain power behind this blockchain, a very serious team of people with a lot backing it. Now let's talk about the key features of Polkadot and of course of ETH 2.0 and how they differ. First, let's discuss their different approaches to scaling their blockchains. Polkadot uses parachains and parathreads in order to meet scaling demands for the network. Now these two combined together create an architectural environment for Polkadot that will offer more functionality than sharding alone will do on Ethereum 2.0. We'll discuss Ethereum 2.0 in a minute. Parachains are not restricted to a single interface. Instead, a parachain, which is basically a blockchain living on top of Polkadot's network, is able to define its own logic and have its own interface, and as long as they provide information back to the relay chain validators, that information can be executed, essentially meaning that every parachain operates as its own independent blockchain, just using the security and of course the interoperability of the Polkadot network. Every potential parachain must bid for a spot, meaning that in order to win that bid, they require a very large sum of the DOT cryptocurrency to bond for up to 2 years in order to operate. Then there are something called parathreads, which are instead registered in a fixed fee system instead of using the bonding system. So they have the exact same API and functionality as parachains, but they're more of a kind of a pay-as-you-go system. Similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, users bid to enter a parathread and have their transactions confirmed back into the relay chain. Additionally, if a chain loses its parachain slot, that chain can actually then basically downgrade to a parathread, thus remaining available to users in the network. Now this system will initially allow for 100 parachain slots with a much higher threshold for future iterations of Polkadot, already being hinted at by Dr. Gavin Wood, so we may see 1,000 or more parachain slots in the future. At this point, parachains could come to the main Polkadot network in the next few months, with parachains likely to come to the little brother network, Kusama, much sooner. Now let's talk about ETH 2.0 and sharding. Now, sharding is how Ethereum plans to scale. Now, this is quite a different approach from the parachain model on Polkadot. So network sharding allows for splitting of the entire Ethereum network into multiple portions or into individual shards. So lots of little shards coming together to make one whole network. Each portion, each shard, contains a unique set of count balances and smart contracts. Basically, what we're doing here is sharing the computational load across many different network participants. Instead of trying to jam everything down one road, you have lots of different roads where, traffic can go. Now, within a shard, notaries are randomly picked to periodically vote on the validity of blocks. Now, this is then reviewed by a committee on the main Ethereum chain and merged via sharding manager contracts. Thus, of course, merging all of the information back together. Initially, it is planned that there will be 64 shards. And thus, in that system with 64 shards, this will allow Ethereum to be able to do thousands of transactions per second for super, super low fees, which is obviously very different to how the current network works with 15 transactions per second and eye-watering fees. If everything goes according to plan, which is not usually the case with Ethereum, unfortunately, but if it does, then we should see ETH 2.0 with a fully sharded network launching sometime in 2022. Now let's talk about staking. Polkadot, like Ethereum 2.0, will be operating a proof of stake system, rewarding users for securing the network. Staking on Ethereum, if done directly, currently costs around $60,000 to get the required 32 Ethereum. There are lots of staking as a service networks out there that allow you to have a much, much smaller amount, literally a couple $100 worth of Ethereum you can go stake, but that is if you do it directly. And of course, if done via a staking service, you obviously have to pay fees, and obviously this also leads to centralization with just a handful of services running staking for the majority of the network, which is obviously not ideal. The minimum required for Polkadot is much less, but can actually still carry a pretty big price tag, currently around $10,000 for those wishing to run a validator node. Again, making it likely that people will choose staking as a service options via exchanges like Kraken. Now, both of these blockchains will be using the WebAssembly technology. Now, this is an important improvement on, for example, where Ethereum is right now using the Ethereum virtual machine, because this WebAssembly is specifically designed to make applications lighter and more user-friendly. Now, in terms of governance, Ethereum governance is handled off-chain, which has its pros and cons, obviously, but definitely does not allow the average user to have the ability to influence major decisions in the network. Up to you whether you think that is important for the average user to choose the direction of the network or not. Polkadot governance, though, is managed on-chain through its treasury, democracy, and council modules, basically allowing the average user to have an influence over major changes in the network. Ethereum and Polkadot, from a foundational perspective, carry very, very few similarities to each other. These are very different blockchain networks. Ethereum is used to deploy smart contracts and control movements of assets deployed in these contracts, whereas Polkadot is actually building a framework that basically allows anyone to build, manage, and control their own blockchain within the Polkadot ecosystem. They then have the ability to connect their chain to existing blockchain networks within that Polkadot ecosystem. Now, the similarities come only in the ability to build decentralized applications on both networks. The actual structure, the technology, the underlying systems are very, very different between these two blockchains. However, Ethereum and Polkadot, they both do decentralized applications, they just do them a bit differently. On Ethereum 2.0, these are still limited to decentralized applications that don't actually require huge throughputs or control of the underlying economics, whereas Polkadot dApps requiring integration across multiple blockchains, or even fully controllable environments become quite ideal. Now, my final thoughts here, Polkadot versus Ethereum. Ethereum 2.0, it is going to be a massive step forward for the entire blockchain economy. And if you think that ETH 2.0 will not ship, then you're not paying attention. It is coming. It's just a matter of when it is coming. That being said, Polkadot is, in my opinion, the most exciting and most promising new blockchain to come to the market in the last few years. And it would seem that developers agree with that sentiment. There are right now probably, 150, 200 different applications planning to release on the Polkadot network. I have not seen this level of hype backed up by actual substance in a very long time. But this, of course, is not Highlander. It's not necessary for there to only be one blockchain, McLeod. Polkadot doesn't have to be an Ethereum killer. Together, these networks are going to be the foundations of the one network, many chains thesis. Anyway, your question for today. If you had to choose just one coin to invest in, Ethereum or Polkadot, which would you choose and why? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.